I've worked with a lot of buyers over the years, and most of them have asked me the same questions. So I put together this video of the common questions that I get. So I'm sure there'll be some questions that you have as well. Hopefully there's some answers here for you. How long does it take to buy a home? Well, from contract to closing, once you've had an offer accepted all the way to the closing date, that's going to take about 30 to 40 days. The variable there can be from when you start looking to actually getting an offer accepted. So that could be 1 or 2 days, or it could be months, depending on if you're looking for a very specific property or just not finding the right one. What credit score do I need to buy a home or qualify for a mortgage? Well, everyone's situation is a little different, and I'm not a lender, and I usually defer to my lending partners so that they can take a look at your situation and help you figure out which program you fit best in. Typically, you're going to need a credit score above 640. There are certain programs where it can be lower than that, but the interest rate is going to be prohibitively high, and it might not make sense to purchase in that situation. If that is you, we can get you in touch with a lender, and they'll take a look at your credit and see where you're at. If we want to work to increase your score so that you get a better interest rate, they can help you map out a plan on the best course to take so that you can get your score up. How much down payment do I need? Well, there's lots of different programs. If you're a veteran or you're currently serving in the military, you qualify for a VA loan, which requires 0% down payment. There are programs, if you're not a veteran, there are programs that allow you to put about 1.5% down. Then there are 3% conventional, there's 3.5% FHA loan programs available. Or you can put as much down as you want, but if you're looking for a minimum down payment, there are programs anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. The one caveat with those programs is you will be paying mortgage insurance, so it's going to be an additional fee each month. But if you don't have a lot of money to put down on a house, which a lot of people are not in that situation, so if that's you, don't think it's a bad thing or a problem. That's what these programs are designed for. Do I have to talk to a lender before I go look at homes? Well, it's not a requirement, but it's highly advisable. And by doing so and talking to a lender, you find out what price range can I go shopping in. And that's important because you don't want to go look at homes and then realize, oh, we can only afford 50 grand less than that. And then you've set your expectation of what's available at that higher price, and then you feel like you're settling. So it's important that you know what price range you can go shop in. The other part of that is you need to know if there's anything lurking on your credit report. Something that's there that you didn't think was there. The sooner that you can talk with a lender and find out what's on your credit report, if there's things that need to be addressed, you'll have plenty of time to do so. So I know you want to rush right out and start looking at homes. I want to do that too, but we have to put the work in up front so that there's no disappointment at the end. What documents do I need when I'm talking to my lender in order to get pre-qualified? Well, you're going to need a copy of your driver's license, your W-2 or your tax returns. You're going to need copies of your last 2 pay stubs, and any other debts that you have. If you have a car payment or if you have a mortgage on your house, you're going to want to get those statements together. Or if you have a copy of your lease, if you're renting, they're going to want to verify all the different payments that you have so that they have a clear understanding of what your income and expenses are, and they can establish what's called your debt to income ratio, and that's what they use to figure out how much you actually qualify for. How do they determine how much of a loan that I can qualify for and how much house I can buy? Well, when you talk to one of my lending partners, they're going to look at your income and your expenses. And different loan programs have different requirements and different calculations on how and different percentages that they're going to use to develop your debt to income ratio. It's a very detailed formula that's difficult to explain in a short video. However, what you can afford as a payment is a function of a percentage of your total income based on what the payment would be and your other debts. If you have car payments or student loan payments, that sort of thing, those all factor into what's called your debt to income ratio, which ultimately determines how much of a loan you can get out on your down payment, and that's how much home you can buy. What are closing costs? Well, closing costs are things that you'll have to pay for at closing in addition to your down payment. There is the title company and escrow company that's handling the transaction. They have several fees, plus there are title insurance policies, prepaid interest, prepaid HOA dues and property taxes, homeowners insurance. There's going to be a laundry list of things that get paid at the close of escrow. A lot of different people involved in a transaction, a lot of different fees. So when we have a settlement statement, we'll go through it in detail. However, also once you've talked with a lender and we know your price range and how much you're putting down, we'll have a good estimate of what your closing costs are going to be. But that gives you an idea of the general things that are going to have to be paid for. There are some other additional costs outside of escrow, like the appraisal cost, home inspection, termite inspection, and whatnot. So hope that gives you an idea of what your closing costs are going to look like. What does it cost to use an agent when buying a home? Well, typically here in Arizona, the way most deals are structured, any realtors involved representing the seller or the buyer, they're going to get paid by the seller at close of escrow. So some agents do charge a fee, but I think that, I'm fairly compensated through the commission structure, and I'm okay with getting paid at the end at closing. So I don't charge any upfront fees or any fees at closing directly from you. So there's no cost to use me as your agent when purchasing a home. How do realtors get paid? A selling agent signs what's called a listing agreement with the seller. That agreement outlines what compensation is going to be offered to the agents that are participating in a transaction. That outlines how much is going to get paid to the selling agent and how much to the buyer's agent. All of those fees to the two different brokers, or if there's one, if one agent is representing both sides, the entire commission would go to them. But there are separate fees that go to the two agents, and those are both paid by the seller at close of escrow. So there's no upfront cost for you as a buyer to hire an agent like me. Some agents do charge you a fee. I think that enough people have their hands in a deal and asking for fees that I don't find it necessary to charge you a fee direct. I'm going to get paid by the seller at closing, and that's enough for me. There is some risk in that. I will do some work with you with the understanding that hopefully we're going to close the transaction, and that's how I get paid. What if I have cash for my earnest money or down payment? If you're got a pile or a brick of cash hiding under your mattress and you're wanting to use that for your earnest money or down payment, it can be a problem. The bank is part of what the lender and their underwriting process is. They have to verify where you're getting your down payment funds from. Certain programs don't allow for a gift from a third party, a relative or a friend or someone that is making the down payment other than you. The lender wants to see that you have the financial wherewithal to perform on the loan. Different programs have different requirements, but if you're sitting on a pile of cash that you're wanting to use, we'll need to talk with the lender and put together a plan on, okay, how can we get this into your bank account so that the lender can verify where it's coming from. If you're not able to just show up at closing day and give the title company $50,000 in cash. They're not a bank. They don't have the ability to accept and receive cash.